Good morning, everybody. Happy May 1st, Birdland. I thought I'd come on here for a little bit. We're the first full calendar month of the baseball season is complete, and I thought I'd come on here and talk about where I think the Birds are at, where I think they need to go, and just general thoughts on the season so far. And it's probably going to be the thumbnail and title for this episode because I think it sums up the Orioles' first part of the season very well. The Orioles have been consistent at being inconsistent. They are consistently inconsistent. Now, injuries have played a big part in that. Obviously, losing Zack Eflin hurt. No pun intended. Losing, then losing Dean Kremer hurt. Losing Jackson Holiday, so on and so forth. Every team deals with injuries. Losing Zack Eflin obviously probably hurt more because, that little bit of pitching depth you had went kind of poof as soon as he got hurt. And now with Dean Kremer hurt also, Trevor Rogers on the IL with the flu. Our pitching is spread a little thin. If I'd have said to you on opening day that our two best starters going into May 1st, statistically, not with his last start notwithstanding, would be Brandon Young and Cade Povich, what would you have said to me? You probably would have told me I was nuts. But as we sit here, you can make an argument that those two are probably one and maybe three. Like I said, Brandon Young kind of poo-pooed the bed yesterday, but for that, he was very consistent for the Orioles. Surprisingly, what was supposed to be the weak point of this team has actually been a strong suit. The bullpen has done its job and, for the most part, done very well. Rico Garcia, in my opinion, right now, if the All-Star game was right now, would probably be representing the Orioles in the All-Star game. That's how good he has been. Everybody loves Rico Garcia around here. Now, I think the bigger problem that has been talked about, trust me, if you go on social media, it's talked about a lot, is the inconsistency of the offense, and I would just come right out and say it. I am 44 years old, born in 1982. This is one of the worst Oriole defensive teams I think that I have seen in my lifetime. No, they're not making an overwhelming amount of errors, but they are struggling with the fundamentals of just making the regular play, getting to the ball. They'll knock it down, but they won't be able to complete the play. It's been sloppy. Some of that is on Craig Alvarez, putting players in what you can only say is the wrong position. Putting a guy, I believe it was Weston Wilson at the time, who primarily has only played infield. I believe it was when we were playing Boston. In left field, expecting him to be able to handle left field at Camden Yards. It isn't going to work. And obviously the defense struggles affect the starting pitching, affect the bullpen. I think the defensive struggles have been the Achilles heel for this team. And to that end, the lack of offensive consistency. I love Gunnar Henderson. I think the world of Gunnar Henderson. He is the definition right now of consistently inconsistent. You could say that about any number of guys up and down the lineup. And anybody who knows me and talks baseball with me knows that I have never been a fan of Pete Alonso. Never. Nothing against him personally. It's the player type. It's the archetype that he's the ultimate all or nothing hitter. He strikes out or he hits home runs. So far, we've seen a lot more strikeout. And I will go on record, I've said it on social media. This contract that we gave him is not going to age well because as he gets older, I guarantee you're going to see less home runs, even more strikeouts, even more inconsistency. I realize he may be pressing because he's the big fish, the leader that signed for the big contract. But there's been many opportunities where he's come up with a chance to give the Orioles the lead, to advance a runner, to help progress a strong inning, and it's been strikeout, ground out, fly out. I have never been a fan of a player that is the ultimate definition of the three true outcomes: strikeout, walk, home run. I want to see more contact made. I want to see more gap-to-gap hitting, situational hitting, the kind of baseball I grew up with in the 80s and 90s. I think baseball is starting to come back to that. I think we got so far away from it in the last, 10 to 15 years. But I do see the speed game coming back to baseball. I see more gap-to-gap hitting coming back to baseball. And the Orioles need to join that party. And sometimes you got to ditch the analytics and just go on feel. Like, sometimes I see these lineups and I know it's analytic driven, but like the other day, you had Kobe Mayo, who had been crazy hot for us the last several games, and all of a sudden he's not in a lineup against a left-hander. Why? Like, I get the idea of needing to get your backups at bats and, the days of the Cal Ripkens, Tony Gwynn's, the players that are out there every single day, kind of by the wayside. But you also got to put a competitive lineup out there. There's so many teams, and, I focus mostly on the Orioles, but I do pay attention to Major League Baseball as a whole. But there's so many teams. You look at Saturday lineups and especially Sunday lineups, you question whether some of these teams are even trying to win. It's frustrating because when you're in a division like the AL East, every single win matters. Now, as it stands, I believe our record we're a game under 500. So it's not the end of the world. It's only May 1st. And trust me, we could be in a lot worse situation compared to other teams that were supposed to compete for the playoffs, like the Mets, like the Phillies, and other teams. Heck, the Phillies just fired their manager. We went through that last year. But I worry about the inconsistency of this team because I've never seen a team basically turn over their entire coaching staff, but then as I watch them hit, as I watch them ignore situational hitting, it's like it's the same thing you see, just a different set of players, different set of coaches. So the only thing that hasn't changed is the front office. Is the front office setting this philosophy with our hitters, with our pitchers, so much so that the on-field personnel doesn't matter, that you can switch somebody out, whether it's a manager or player, and same result? Because I don't understand how you can switch out an entire coaching staff and the team just feel the same offensively. If you can answer that question, please put it in the comments below. But that's the general theme for my take on my Orioles for the first month of the year. They are definitely consistently inconsistent. Let me know what you think of the Orioles so far in 2026. Leave a comment below, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, if you haven't been keeping up on our MLE The Show 26 Orioles franchise, consistently posting new videos for that. Check out the playlist, and I will see you all next time.